Good morning. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning and welcome back, Navneet. I'm Agam Akil, the top headlines of this hour. Indian markets declined for the second straight day ahead of the F&O expiry. Nifty trades around 10,650. India wakes surges. And open interest surges in Nalco by more than 20% as traders take fresh positions in its futures. And the rupee slips to a record low against the greenback as external risks build. And Tata Steel is among the top Nifty gainers today on the back of reports that it managed to bridge the valuation gap in the proposed joint venture with ThyssenKrupp. And Suzuki Motor identifies India as its most important global market, says it will increase its product count from 16 to 30.
Okay, those are the top headlines at this hour, but let's also tell you what's happening in the markets right now. We definitely had a negative opening, but I guess markets have recovered a bit. So currently Nifty is just down about 10 points as we speak, 10,660. The June futures, today is the day for expiry, so definitely you can watch out for some volatility. They're also trading just about flattish. Pull up Bank Nifty, which so far has been quite resilient that we've seen. Bank Nifty is just about mildly in the positive territory, trading futures are just about trading flatter, a mild bit of discount of almost 2 to 3 points. Pull up the India Volatility Index. Remember, India VIX went up by almost 5 to 5.5% yesterday. In the morning when the market opened, it did go up by 1.5 to 2%, but it's cooled off from there. Right now, India VIX is down 1.5%, so that's a positive sign. What's holding up in trade after the rupee touched its all-time low levels in today's session? You've got the IT pack, which so far has been outperforming, is also holding up in a weak market like today's, though the markets have recovered from the lows. You've got the Nifty IT Index. Let's just pull up that. Infosys is up 2%. That's a heavy weight, so definitely that's contributing to the recovery that one has seen for Nifty in the intraday session. Nifty IT is holding up with gains of 0.2%. Let's quickly tell you then which are the option strikes which are in focus on this expiry day. Watch out for the 10,650 call as well as the put strike, as both call as well as put have seen some bit of open interest addition coming by as we speak. There's been open interest addition of nearly 2 to 3 lakh shares which has come by, and that's the open interest change for you. 10,702 is quite active, but remember, today being expiry, the premium have collapsed on both the sides, call as well as put. So 10,650 remains a very, very crucial mark. If you look at the premium on both the sides, it's giving you a range for today of between 10,610 to about 10,690. And in the morning, also a lot of the technical experts said that the resistance for this market will come by in the range of 10,720 to about 10,730. So watch out for that one. And if you look at the next series, which starts tomorrow, that's the July series. Agam, I was just checking the maximum open interest concentration. I guess the range remains the same. It is between 11,000 to almost 10,600.
Well, 10,600 at this point in time, Navneet, remains critical, though as of now, the way trade is panning out, it seems unlikely that's going to be taken out considering the open interest numbers right now. That said, in terms of stocks that we're watching out for today, we have Power Finance, which is right at the top, considering a surge in open interest, and this is essentially largely on the June futures. So we will have that list of all those stocks which are seeing a surge in OI. And it's followed by Nalco as well. That's seeing a surge of around 24%. And it's up and about as well. It's advancing in trade today. M&M, Equitas Holdings, and Ambuja Cement, along with HDFC, all seeing an increase in the June futures itself. So a lot of these positions being taken, keeping in mind intraday positions. So we'll be watching out for M&M specifically in this case, considering it's seen a 21% increase in open interest. Ambuja Cements is the other one. It's a curious one. Its underlying hasn't changed too much, but it has seen an accumulation in OI. And of course, HDFC is the other one which is buzzing in trade. On the whole, I'm watching out for Nalco, which stands out in trade considering the weakness in the markets for now, Navneet.
Okay, and we'll be getting some views on these stock futures as highlighted by Agam. But remember, the rollovers too this time around have been weak. Let's just quickly first pull up the Nifties as well as the Bank Nifty rollovers and see where they stand currently, because it's important to highlight the rollovers that we've seen in the previous series. Also, they tend to pick up in the last 1 or 2 days. So Nifty rollover currently at about 45%. It is below the average of what we've seen, the 3-month average of last 3 months. And also the Bank Nifty rollovers, that will just come come up on your screen. All right, then, before we get to our guest in the show, here's a reminder for you all. If you have any queries in the futures and options market, call us now on 022-4540-4141. You can also write to us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and for the ones who are watching our show on YouTube, you can write your queries on that platform as well. Just don't forget to add the AskPQ hashtag. Let's welcome our F&O experts then. Brijesh Singh, of Stock Axis, and Ashish Chaturmohta of Sanctum Wealth are here with us. Good morning to both of you gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us today on the F&O show once again. Ashish, let me come to you first. Expiry day, what's the range that one should expect in today's session? The 10,650 call and put strike are quite active.
Yeah, they are quite active, and in fact, in yesterday's trading session, we have breached one important critical support point that's around 10,680, 10,700 zone. If you look at the put concentration, that was quite heavy at around 10,700 for the entire series, and just before one day of expiry, you saw the breakdown happening because of there is a lot of margin. Initial margin has been increased in a lot of these stocks. That is creating some kind of selling pressure across the mid cap F&O basket. But looking into the trend which we are observing in a lot of these large cap private sector banks, IT basket, FMCG basket, that gives me a sense that in a near term, although we have breached 10,700, but again 10,620, 600 is going to act as an important support point. So keeping that in mind, I think the market is going to remain very, very range bound in today's trading session. We expect the range to be between 10,640 to 680 in Nifty. But if you look at the bank Nifty, that is showing a lot of positive strength because of a positive contribution coming from stocks like HDFC Bank, Kotak, IndusInd. So that gives me a sense that Bank Nifty is going to see a stronger outperformance. Considering that what I'm recommending is a pair trade, and the trade is long Bank Nifty and short Nifty. So that's a strategy which I would like to initiate if I have to take a index-based strategy, because I believe that Bank Nifty has a potential to move at least 150, 180 points from current levels, whereas Nifty might see an uptick, but it will be an underperformance as compared to Bank Nifty. If I have to take a vanilla trade, then with a stop below 26,380, Bank Nifty is a buy, and upside 26,550 is the target I'm expecting in Bank Nifty.
All right, there you have it. That's a pair trade coming through. Positive on the Bank Nifty, negative on the Nifty. That's Ashish's view on the markets currently. Brijesh, good morning to you as well. How are you approaching expiry and perhaps trade over the next couple of weeks?
Good morning, everyone. See, if I talk about the Nifty right now, the Nifty has been trading somewhere around 10,670, and intraday low of today was somewhere around 10,630 zone. No doubt, 10,700 or 10,710 was a crucial support which should not be broken on the yesterday trading session, and after that it went down all the way. Now, if I talk about the broader range of the picture right now, would be 10,550, 10,550. Important level to watch out that should not be get broken for the momentum for the July series to be continue. Regarding on the higher side, 10,820, 10,850 would be the resistance. So this is 300-point range which I'm looking for. But if we talk about for a intraday or say a swing-based trading session, then any dip should be used for a buying purpose for Nifty, because right now, on an hourly chart, what I've been looking is that Nifty has formed a bullish engulfing candlesticks, which has been giving a positive sign. But at this juncture of time, 10,670, I would not be advising any dip somewhere around 10,650 or below that. One can take a buy call and keeping a stop loss of say 10,590 for the target of 10,690 to 10,700. And any closing above 10,710, we might see a sharp a pullback rally towards 10,800. We might see a short covering from that level. So overall, any dip can be used for a Nifty can be used for a buying purpose, keeping a stop loss of 10,590.
Okay, so both our experts are recommending to take position on the future side and not options for the day, considering today is the expiry day. Brijesh is saying he's seeing some bullish pattern on Nifty, so one can look to buy that with a target of 10,690 in today's session. Let's tell you then individual stock futures, what to bet on in today's trade. Ashish, let me come to you. M&M is the one which you've been quite bullish on.
So, yeah, so I'm very bullish on M&M. I think the stock is consolidating for last 4-5 weeks. First of all, it was an underperformer for last many years. Then we saw a sharp uptick from 840 to almost 940. Then again, it went into a consolidation, and now a fresh round of strength is clearly being visible. I think July series, you can see a very strong uptick coming in M&M. Although at the level where I recommended, the stock is already up 10 rupees. So I think I need to revise my stop loss. Earlier, the stop loss was 895. I think one can revise the stop to 900 zone. With 900 as a stop loss, I think 950, 960 is a positional target I'm expecting in M&M. So I think looks quite good for another 4% kind of upside from current levels. Second call would be on IT basket, which is Tech Mahindra. Although it has seen some correction in today's trading session, but I think this is offering a good opportunity to initiate a long. 690 should be kept as a trading stop loss in Tech Mahindra, and upside 730, 740 is what one can expect in Tech Mahindra in a shorter term time frame. In the banking basket, as I mentioned, Bank Nifty is looking very strong, so this could be initiated as a buy idea. But apart from that, HDFC Bank is really showing a very strong uptrend, and I think the way the entire positioning is being seen, it looks like stock has a potential to test 2180, 2200 kind of zone on upside. So with a stop below 2110, HDFC Bank could be bought, and apart from that, HDFC Limited is also showing good strength in last 3-4 trading sessions. So I think with a stop below 1880, 1950 is a target I'm expecting in HDFC Limited as well.
I'd say that's very interesting, because in these markets, Ashish, you still have 4 long ideas, and a lot of our viewers.
I'll give you a very interesting perspective. Agam, this market in itself is trading in a 3-4 different zone. So if you are looking from a mid cap perspective, you are feeling that it's 2008. Right. But if you are into a large cap, stocks where my focus is there for last 3-4 months, I'm feeling that we are in a completely strong bull market. So it's a very different. Yes. So if you look at Sri Infra, the stock has corrected 50%. BEL has seen a correction of more than 50%. Stock like NBCC, where a lot of this fundamental analysis and technical analysis were very, very bullish, say 6 months back. Now that stock is down almost 55-60%. So if you look at this list of stocks, you will feel that market is in a complete carnage mode. But if you look at stock like Dabur, Hindustan Lever, Infosys, TCS, Tech Mahindra, where I have been betting for many months, I think the trend is very, very structurally positive on upside.
Absolutely, and with you on all valid points made by Ashish out there. Brijesh, incidentally, you also have a buy call on M&M. What else do you have on your list, and if you can take us through all your calls for today?
The first call would be Mahindra. Excuse me. I will be going with the Ashish. 933, if I'm not mistaken, is a 52-week high, and after that it was consolidating in the range of 910 to 920 level, and after that we have seen a small profit booking which made the stock touch in 874 to 870, and after that again a pullback rally has been seen. Now on an hourly chart, the stock has made a base at the level of 890 odd zone. Now I was looking for a swing based trading for 1 or 2 days that we might try to touch 920, 925 odd level, but I think since the present juncture of the chart are indicating the more higher level. So somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, the stock is maintaining somewhere at 950. So at the present juncture, one can take a buy call or any dip somewhere on 910 with keeping a stop loss of say a 900 odd level, and look for the target of say 930, 933, which is again a 52-week high. And if we are able to cross that 930 zone, then I'm looking stock touching 969, 970 zone in a couple of weeks. Another counter would be from a pharma packs, right? So that is a call which I am looking for. The stock has made a 360, 365 zone, and right now it is quoting it 3 plus. On our hourly chart, the oscillator has come up from the oversold zone, which is giving a positive view for the stock. So anything below 380 one can take a buy call, and with keeping a stop loss of 364, 368. The target I would be revising initially before the show. I have given a target of 390, but I am looking stock going all the way to 400, 405 odd level in a week time frame.
Okay, Apparently, we've got all long calls for the day, and M&M seems to be a consensus buy from Ashish as well as Brajesh's side. And we received a lot of your queries. You're watching our show, so let's just start off with that segment of viewer queries. Somil Shah has written to us on YouTube, and he wants to know at what price can he enter into Lupin July futures. Can we just pull up a Lupin and check what it's doing currently, Ashish? In the meanwhile, how are the charts of Lupin looking? Do you think one should take a bet now or should wait it out for July series?
No, looks quite interesting. In fact, after a sharp uptick from 750 odd zone to almost 920, the stock has been is into a consolidation phase for last 2 weeks, and I think this consolidation is very, very healthy in nature. I believe that 880 is a very, very strong support for Lupin, and if we don't break 880, then I think positionally stock has a potential to cross 950, 960 mark. So what I would recommend is a strict stop loss around 880, but I feel that stock has a potential to strongly cross this 950, 960 zone in next couple of few trading sessions.
All right, so that's the view on Lupin. Moving on YouTube, we have Anand Kumar, and he asks, can I buy Balkrishna Industries at current price? Can we pull up Balkrishna Industries and see where that's trading currently and where its futures are? It's down around 1.5%, and again, there has been very sharp moves when it comes to the tire stocks of late. We've seen rollovers for Balkrishna as of now at around 58%. That has been short build up in the June as well as July series in today's day of trade. Brajesh, if I can take this query to you, what's your view on Balkrishna Industries, and what levels would you ask Anand to keep an eye on?
See, 1070, 1075 was the support. It should have not been broken that level. Now the stock has been trading near the past swing low of 1040. Chances are there that it might drift more. So I'll say not at this juncture one can buy. If it trades somewhere 1020 to 1020 odd level, 25 odd level, one can buy this stock with keeping a strict stop loss of 1005 and look for the target of 1062 followed by 1075. But at this juncture of time, I'll say avoid, because the risk reward ratio is not in the favor.
Avoid right now Balkrishna because the risk reward ratio is not in the favor. Let's address a query which we've received from I think Anand Kumar also wanted to know for Bank Nifty. He's got the 26,500 call strike, for which he's paid a premium of 34.5 rupees, and current premium on 26,500 call strike is somewhere about 50 to 51. Ashish, you're bullish on Bank Nifty, as you mentioned. If somebody is holding that call strike, what should be the target for the day?
So I think this option can hit a premium around 80-85 kind of levels. For this, I think you should keep 34, which is its buying price, as a stop loss level, and with that, I think 80-85 could be expected as a target on upside in 26,500 call option.
All right, Ashish, you've witnessed something interesting in Shriram Transport Finance that will make for a good shorting candidate right now.
Yeah, so if you look at in last 3 trading sessions, stock has seen a very sharp correction from 1500 to almost 1315. Today's trading session almost 7.5% open interest addition. In July series as well, we are witnessing a good short build up to the tune of 6-7%, clearly indicating that some weakness could be witnessed here. If you are on the long side of the stock, I think there can be some selling pressure which can extend towards 1300 odd levels. I think if one is aggressive, on shorting side, 1370 should be kept as a stop loss, and 1300 could be expected as a downside target in Shriram Transport Finance.
All right. Okay, so that's as far as Shriram Transport goes. I'm going to take the next query on Hindustan Unilever. We have Nikhil Raja, and he says that he's bought the July futures of Hindustan Unilever at 1652. His question is hold or exit, and can the target of 1700 be seen in the July expiry? Now, I do know that Ashish covers the stock very closely, but Brajesh, I'm going to take your view on this one first. Do you think that HUL moving above the mark of 1700 over the next 1 month is a possibility?
See, I don't think that it would be able to cross the 1700 mark. 1635, 1640 would be the first hurdle, and the major hurdle lies somewhere around 1665. So if 1665 crosses, then only we can say 1700 can be achieved. As for now, 1610, the stock is the downside support lies at 1585 to 1590 zone. That is that can kept as a stop loss. As I said, 1635 followed by 1665 are the two hurdles to be watched very closely. If it are able to cross, then only we can see 1700.
That's HOL for you, which is looking good. Saptarshi Mitra on YouTube wants a view on Adani Port. Saptarshi's got 370 call strike of July series, for which a premium of almost 10.5 rupees has been paid. Saptarshi wants to know what to do with this one. Can this be held on, Ashish?
See, the challenge is it's not falling, but at the same time you're not seeing any positive action coming on upside. And for this, for option buyers, if the stock doesn't move and if it doesn't fall, it can erode a lot of time value. So I think Adani Ports although has formed some base, but what I really need is a crossover above 368 to really say that some strength is coming back, and this option premium can rise only in that situation. So I think he should watch for 368 as a level. If it gets crossed over, then I think there can be some hope for this option to move on upside.
Okay, well, there you have it. That's the view on Adani Ports. We do have another query coming in from Somil Shah. His question is actually to do with HCL Technologies. Even though his query is relatively fundamentally based, because we did have, HCL Technologies with an HSBC upgrade coming through, and his question again, like I said, is based on the news of Nokia contract and certain speculation here. HCL Technology is looking good to you, I'm assuming, along with the rest of the pack, Ashish?
Yes, so HCL Tech is definitely also forming a good base, although it's not a volume, it has not observed a strong price volume activity in last couple of few weeks when the entire IT basket was showing very good strength. But definitely, I think from a bottom-up approach, it looks interesting with a stop below 910. I think HCL Tech has a potential to test 940, 950. But within this basket, Infosys is one stock I have been recommending very, very aggressively for last couple of few weeks, and now today it has hit an all-time high with a very strong OI addition of almost 7-8%, clearly indicating stock has a potential to see 1340, 1350 on upside.
Okay, that's the view on Infosys. Let's just take Tata Motors query. I think on Facebook, Naveen Kumar has written to us. He's suggesting that the stock has been hitting 52-week low. In fact, today it's touched its fresh 52-week low. He wants to know if it's the good time to pick up the stock. But his question is more of fundamental oriented, because he's also suggesting, is the stock expensive given the current scenario? Naveen, I can't get your fundamental view on this, but definitely I'll go to Brijesh and ask him if the stock on the charts have bottomed out or not, considering it has been touching 52-week low every single day. Brijesh, at what price do you think, if somebody wants to go long on Tata Motors, can they take a position?
See, Tata Motor had made a low of 282, and after that it has given a bounce back and it moved to the level of 310 and 315 on level. After that again, now it's been trading and making a new 50-week low. 420, 425 onwards on different channels, I was been recommending that the pattern on the chart on the weekly basis, it has been forming a lower tops and lower bottom formation, which is giving a negative view for the stocks. Now 250, 255 is a level as a support. So if someone wants to take a fresh call on a buy side, the 250, 255, one can take a buy call with a strict stop loss of 235, 240 zone. On a higher side, again 280 would be the first hurdle, because that is the previous 52 low has been made, so it would be acting as a resistance. Anything above 280, then 305. So at this juncture of 269, I would say avoid 250, let it come to 250, 255, so that your risk reward ratio would be in your favor.
All right, there you have it. That's the view on Tata Motors. Ashish, there has been a query for you on HUL. It's by the same viewer who had asked us about HUL just a few moments ago. He also wants your view on this one.
See, Akam, yesterday only we had booked some gains around 1640, 1650 levels in Hindustan Lever, and if you look at yesterday's trading volume, it was almost one of the highest trading volume we have observed in last couple of few weeks. With that, we have seen a sharp profit booking from 1650 to almost 1610. So I think it will take reasonably long time to actually form some base. Although at these levels, I don't see a very strong downside coming into the stock. So maybe around 1590, 1585, you will see a lot of support coming into the stock. But whether the stock will cross 1640, 1650 in a short span of time, that's a question. So I think that's not going to happen in a very short span of time. So if he can really take a pinch of holding the stock for let's say for a month or two, then I think that he can make some gains. But at this point of time, I think after seeing a sharp profit booking, it will take some time for stock to really consolidate at these levels.
Fair enough.
Okay, that's the view on HUL. Just want to highlight a few stocks. Pull up NALCO, that's National Aluminium. That's seeing some strength in today's session. In fact, the stock's gone up on both this price action as well as open interest addition that one can see on the screen. For both June as well as July series, there's been substantial addition. Brijesh, on the charts, NALCO up almost 4% in trade. How is this one looking?
The previous swing low was somewhere around 67. That has been broken, and after that, the recent swing low of 57 has acted as a support, and stock has given a bounce back with increase in volume. Right now, the stock has been trading somewhere around 62 plus. So, if someone wants to take a fresh call, I'll say at the present juncture or somewhere around 60 and a half or say 61, one can take a buy call in it with keeping a stop loss of 57 and look for the pullback of level of 65 followed by 67.
All right, there you have it. NALCO, well, 4 now in today's day of trade, advancing, one of the top gainers when it comes to the F&O pack. But we've run out of time, so we're going to thank both our experts, Ashish and Brijesh, for joining us this morning and taking us through their views as well as solving some of our viewer queries. And with that, it's a wrap in this edition of the F&O Show, but lots more lined up. We speak to George Alexander Muthoot, the MD of the company, to take us through the outlook of the same. Stay tuned in the Bloomberg.